my lesson is called Differentiated Long Division. It's for 5th grade and it's about math. My learning goal is for students to be able to work a long division problem without remainders. And then some of the objectives that I have are: students will recognize the differences between lines, students will convert the numbers, students will compute the right number into the problem, students will solve the problems, students will assemble the numbers into the right rows, and students will compare which handout was easier for them. And then the RU SPA National Standard is 2.3 for mathematics. And then I have for the OAS standard, I have divide multi-digit numbers and solve real-world and mathematical problems using arithmetic. Estimate solutions to division problems, or in order to assess the reasonableness of results. Divide multi-digit numbers by 1 and 2-digit divisors using efficient and generalizable procedures based on the knowledge of place value. And then I have recognized that quotients can be represented in a variety of ways, including a whole number with a remainder, a fraction or a mixed number, or a decimal, and consider the context in which problem. And then the last one I have is solve real world and mathematical problems requiring addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of multi-digit whole numbers. The materials I'll need is, or the students will need scratch paper to work any of the problems that they need to work out in separate paper, and then I have 2 separate handouts and a quiz. And they'll obviously need a pencil or a pen, and then I will be showing a YouTube video, so I'll also need a computer. And then I plan to start the lesson by showing the YouTube video to catch their attention and help them realize that the basic division that we had been going over earlier in the week is just like long division, and that video shows the connection between the two, and what else they'll need to know. And then I'll go over any questions that they have, and then I'll pass out the 2 handouts. So I have 2 different ones. They just have 2 different ways for them to work them out, and then to see if some of the students do better on one or the other. And then we'll go over some of their answers, if they had any questions, and then I'll hand out the quiz. And then the quiz will be the assessment, obviously. And the adjustments: if any of the students do not understand how to do the long division problems, then I'll separate them into groups of 2 or 3 so that they can work together. If I don't have time to get to them, to get to everyone to help them. And then I'll show my YouTube video, which will be, I think the video I chose is 11 minutes, but I won't play the whole thing. And then I'll explain the lesson and ask any questions. That'll take about 3 to 5. And then the handouts, we'll give them 5 to 10 minutes to finish, and then we'll go over the answers. I'll give them 3 to 5 minutes for that, and then the quiz, I'll give them 10 or 15 minutes to finish that. And then the independent practice, the students will complete the handout on their own, obviously unless they have questions, then they can ask them. And then the students will complete the quiz either in class, and if they don't finish, then they'll be able to take it home. And then the closure: the students will complete the quiz. This will be used as the evaluation of the lesson. By using a quiz, it will help answer the problems, identify their differences, and conclude with different problems to solve the long division problems. I will extend the objectives by going over the comparisons between the problems. And then the assessment: I'll evaluate the students during the quiz to determine which form of long division was easiest. I will use a formal assessment to see how well the students have comprehended the information. There will be a quiz to see if they understood the material, and if they did, then we'll move on to the next lesson, which is different ways to understand how to multiply. And then the last 2 pages that I have on my lesson plan are the handouts that I would hand out for them. It's just 2 simple. They both have 9 problems, and they're just set up differently to see if some students understand. One of them has like bubbles and squares, and the other one is just just straight rows to see which way would help them better. That's my lesson.